biomass on Earth would go extinct if there was no plants. I don't hold this position, but I'm just saying, like, why do you hold it? That's what I'm asking.
I mean, like, so what? Do all these phytonutrients happen to be in every single plant, or like, do some of them come from only some plants, or because like you don't have every single plant in every part of the world. Some regions only have grass, right?
Sorry? Some regions only have what?
Grass. I don't know what he's
Grass?
trying to.
Which
Yeah,
Can you
regions
guys not
only
hear
have
me?
grass?
Wait, so like, what's the point of what you're saying? You're saying that, oh, we by going omnivore, we might be missing some of these, one of these 3,000.
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying
Well,
about
he doesn't believe this. He's given a hypothetical.
That's what you're saying about
What are you
veganism.
asking me to
Saying if
respond
we
to?
go vegan, there might be a nutrient that we're missing, but we can't detect it, or the data can't detect it. And I'm saying, how do you know that that's not the case with the opposite conclusion, or at least an omnivore diet or a meat-based diet of some sort, a high meat diet or whatever you want to call it?
Because we still managed to get to a very dominant position on Earth.
How does that relevant? Like they had a high mortality risk. They died at 25 years old. And we couldn't know. We didn't have any way to figure that out. That's what I'm telling you. There's no way to figure it out. That's why you need science. That's why you need data. That's why you need to test it. And we have done that with vegans and vegetarians, and we see that they have lower risk of this and that and blah blah blah, and they live a long time. And there's no, like, we know what nutrients we need and what nutrients we don't. We have RDAs and RDIs and upper tolerable intakes and everything else. Just crazy.
Frankly, I guess I'm not sure how to respond to that. I wasn't really hearing anything.
If you don't know how to respond, then you shouldn't hold the position that you're going to have some kind of God of the gaps argument where, oh, there could be some kind of nutrient that we discover in the future that applies to all contexts, is what I'm telling you. And that can apply to anything. We can say cigarettes. We can say, well, if you don't smoke cigarettes, there might be a nutrient in tobacco that you're missing that is necessary for life. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
That's exactly what I said. If we were smoking for our entire history, then yeah, I would be careful about completely removing it. I mean, I always said that. And same with meat.
What do you
We've
mean
all
by careful removing it? Would you still remove it? Would you still tell people to cut down? Let's say we knew that it increased mortality and cancer.
To warrant it, then yeah. If the problem was severe enough to warrant telling people to cut down, then I would tell them to cut down.
What do you determine as severe enough? What do you mean by severe enough? What does that look like?
Well, if we're talking about the current evidence with smoking and the current evidence with meat, I would tell people, okay, try not to eat like so much meat. Apparently, you'll get colorectal cancer or whatever, or atherosclerosis. I wouldn't totally go vegan though.
Menags, you know the amount of meat that what was it? The one they said like 2 servings every week or like every 2 weeks or something.
Sorry, which?
Oh, wasn't there a paper that was done, and it was like which one was it? Where they in the Lancet where they had that huge paper where they recommended meat intake lower than like 1 or 2 servings every like few weeks or something, or a couple weeks.
I'm
not
sure.
About, there's a recent large meta-analysis, I believe, on mortality that showed anything over 3 servings per week was associated with an increase in mortality.
Right. So would you recommend people reduce to that level is the question. But there was one that was encountered environmental issues, and they said like even lower because they were trying to talk about land use as well.
Oh yeah, I'm not aware. I don't know offhand.
But if we account things like that, I mean, you'd be telling people to eat like 1 or 2 servings of meat every couple weeks. I mean, would you do that? Is he still here?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to press push to talk.
No problem.
Oh my God, this is so annoying. Okay, so, but from what I saw, it didn't seem like that 10-year lifespan difference was from the difference between eating, what was it, twice every week, what you said? Anyway, it didn't seem like the 10-year gain didn't seem like it came directly from the twice a week
We're
eating
talking about red
every
meat recommendations. We're talking about red meat recommendations, lowering red meat to a point where you're going to encounter very low risk.
Which 10-year gain are you talking of?
Didn't the Adventist
Plenty of them.
study say like if
Well,
you
it
go
absolutely
vegan-
was. Their intake was like less than 2 servings a week.
Right. So if like so what? So like if going from 3 servings a week to 2 servings a week made a 10-year difference? No, right?
Why is that relevant?
Well, so why would the recommendation necessarily be you have to only eat like 2 a week? Like why not just say, too much like looked really bad, but
Well, the 3
Yeah.
number was coming from you can observe significant increases in mortality above 3 servings per week.
okay. Yeah, then I guess that's a good idea. But again, that's omnivorous, like 3 servings a week, 2 servings a week.
To be honest, I don't think that there's a nutritional argument in and of itself that would warrant you to become 100% vegan. I think that's where the moral thing comes in. I think you can be on a very, very, very low meat, low animal product diet and be fine, but the thing that makes somebody actually want to become 100% vegan is not supporting those industries that destroy the environment and the animal ethics of it. It's not that, oh well, my risk is going to be this and that. It's really the morals that takes you over to 100%. Like I don't see a problem with eating a low amount of fish, but I see a problem with it like ethically or whatever.
Okay, I guess.
So you basically conceded the argument that we have. So I think we should like pick this up another time and talk about morals, and then we can kind of get to the 90% to 100%. But I think you've conceded pretty much the position at this point because we don't hold the position that that in and of itself nutrition would cause you to be 100% vegan.
Well, no, but we're like contradictory because remember I said if we go totally vegan, like I just wouldn't recommend that.
What's the contradiction?
Health-wise, I wouldn't recommend going 100% vegan.
No, it's not. So you're recommending that people don't go. What Beast was saying is that we don't hold the position that you need to go 100% vegan to be healthy or to be optimally healthy. Position that you need to be predominantly plant-based specifically for health, but that vegan diets are in and of themselves healthy. There's the distinction between your and ours.
Right, and there's 11 international organizations papers that I posted that show that it's nutritionally adequate, that it can provide health benefits, it's adequate for all stages of life, pregnancy, adulthood, lactation, athletes, children, everything like that. Those 11 positions, right? And we've shared a bunch of data. So at this point, you pretty much have the same position as us in a way. You've conceded a bunch of that stuff. So, I mean, we can talk about the ethics tomorrow or something, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to eat, but I mean, I think the point was that I don't think it's a good idea health-wise to go from maybe a small amount of meat to 100%. Like, I know you're saying, oh, you're not in a different position, but we are, because I'm saying it's not, it might not be healthy. So I wouldn't recommend because of health
What
reasons.
wouldn't be healthy? What specifically wouldn't be healthy? What do you mean?
Going from, let's say, eating 2 servings of meat to no servings of meat. I just think that's a risk that, like I would applaud people like you, for example, because the moral thing is really important, I think. But like I just wouldn't wouldn't feed, like, let's say, my kids or me a vegan diet, because
Okay, so what is the reason that a 100% vegan diet is inadequate, or is not going to be healthy?
here's
Is
like,
that vitamin
so
A
for me,
and
I guess
stuff like that?
I guess like I feel like this discrepancy wasn't accounted for very much when we were talking earlier. So I said there are these nutrients that an only vegan diet don't seem to have a lot of. Like it, and I guess I didn't fully read through the papers yet, but like, let's say for vitamin A, whatever, it seemed as if some people can't convert. I know you said that was only because of spinach, but so where I'm coming from is that it seems like you might be missing some of these things that are best coming from meat. So, yeah, that's why I think going completely vegan just is more risky health-wise.
But there's no evidence of that. Like, we've shown that. I don't know what else to say. Like, what is it, the specific claim? Vitamin A? Is it the vitamin A, or is it the omega, or what is it?
Vitamin A, omega.
So we went through all this. So why are you going in a circle now? I don't get it.
I mean, the thing is,
not
we ended up.
accurate.
No, the thing is, we ended up changing the subject to, oh, the health outcomes don't show that these people die earlier, like vegans. You just showed that the vegans don't die earlier from all
They
causes.
also don't show
Wasn't
any
that-
changes in outcomes related to any of these
But
nutrients.
how do you
And they're
measure?
not lower.
How do you measure things like energy level, productivity, just life satisfaction? How do you measure those things? Like, it's unfortunate that we can't. If we could measure those things, it would be a lot more convincing. But unfortunately, we can't. Not today, anyway. Not with our technology. Maybe one day, like, if we could go into
So
neuro
is there,
stuff.
right?
measure
Is there, all right? Is there a level at which you would bite that bullet? Like, let's say you have the best standard of living possible. You have the best energy. You feel the best you've ever felt in your entire life. You sleep the best. You have the best skin, but you only live to 20 years old. Would you have that diet if you knew that you were only going to live to 20 years old? Let's just say, I'm not saying that's what veganism is, obviously. I'm just saying, would you say that that's a good
That
idea?
does not sound worth it at all.
What?
That does not sound worth it at all. 20 years?
Yeah.
No.
So there's going to be some level at which you would not hold that position. So what is the level?
It depends on how different you live, like, because I can't tell.
No, but how many years would it take before you say, "Yep, okay, I'm fine with that now"?
Fine with what now?
Like, if I say to you, I'm gonna live, like I just mentioned, like, if I told you you're only gonna live to 20 years old, and I said, would you be okay with that? You said no. So I'm asking you, what level, what age, or how many years would you accept? Like, obviously you're saying that at some point that's going to level up. So I'm just asking you what point that is that it does that.
I guess there's no really hard line. It just depends on what I can do with that life, right?
No, but I'm asking you, how many years would you accept? It's just a simple question. because you wouldn't accept 20, you wouldn't accept